All right. That sounded kind of bad. Let's try that again. How you guys doing? Let's keep that energy going for our next contestant. Let's hear it for Doug Hecox. Let's hear it for him.
How you guys doing? You can hear that a lot tonight, so get used to it. I'm in a good mood, very good mood actually. My comedy career really seems to be taking off. I don't know how many of you saw me, but I was on Oprah about 4 months ago. Things went pretty well. I don't want to brag, but she thinks now she can get me on her TV show. So kind of a big fan of comedy. I like TV also. I watch a lot of TV. I don't know how many of you are like I am, but for the past several days I've been watching the U.S. Open, the tennis thing, and frankly I'm a little disappointed. In 3 days I haven't seen anything of Anna Kournikova. Big fan of Anna Kournikova. Those of you who don't know who she is, last June I celebrated her 18th birthday. I won't tell you how. Suffice it to say, I'm getting tennis elbow. So, I mean, I got to be honest. I can think about 4 other things she could be doing with that tennis racket besides tennis. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like her. And to be honest, I don't even know why they make her play against anybody else. I mean, they could put her up against a wall and I'd watch her for hours on end, you know, assuming it's a mirror. And, you know, they hose her down periodically. So she's hot, you know, and she'd be hotter if she were damp. So my grandmother will appreciate that. She actually wrote that joke, so thank you. Back to that. She has a lot of free time on her hands. She lives in a nursing home now, and of course it's not a lot going on in there, so she has a lot of free time. And those are very depressing places. I don't know if you've been in one lately, but nursing homes are very bad. The people there feel alone. They feel abandoned. Her roommate, for example, very depressed. She just got a colostomy bag and can't find any shoes to match. So I just told her to wear red pumps and eat a lot of Jell-O. She seems to like me pretty well because I keep calling her Venus. I can't remember her name, frankly, and she thinks I'm referring to the goddess. I'm actually referring to her varicose veins. So it's kind of a sad situation. But again, those are very depressing places, and there's, like I say, not a lot going on. My grandmother is a very vibrant, very vital lady, and for a number of years she was big in the entertainment industry. She worked in a topless bar. I mean, you know, when she started out, she was a bouncer, and of course, over the years, became more of a sagger. So, she, I don't know. I just feel bad for her. It's a very depressing. So she watches a lot of television, which is sort of the hard part. And she's been watching. Of course, when you're over 70, your favorite network is C-SPAN. She likes to watch the politicians and see what they're up to. So I watched a little bit of it with her last week, and there was these parents, these very conservative parents who were protesting in front of the Capitol. They were trying to get Dr. Seuss books removed from public schools. I don't know if any of you have seen this. They think Dr. Seuss books are bad for kids. They have some indecent things in there. One book they think is about incest, Hop on Pop. Another one they think is about sodomy, Inside, Outside, Upside Down. I don't even want to get into Mr. Brown Can Moo, Can You? So sorry to say, all those books are checked out from the Library of Congress right now. So evidently, a Mr. Packwood has them. If you see him, let him know. Overdue. But she watches a lot of Ally McBeal also. I don't know if any of you watch Ally McBeal. I kind of like it. I actually find her sort of attractive. I know a lot of people don't, but you know, I don't. I mean, some people think she's a little thin, maybe a little flat-chested. Frankly, that flatters the term flat-chested. I mean, let's be honest. She's got ribs with nipples. You know what I'm saying? There was more cleavage in Schindler's List, you know what I'm saying? That's okay. Even rabbis laugh at that one. They, you know. But see, that's why I think Ally McBeal and I would be great together because, well, have you ever heard of washboard abs? I have washboard pecs. And so does she. So, you know, we can get together and wash our shirts together. I think it'd be fantastic. Kind of some of that. But I'm a big Rolling Stones fan. I don't know if you guys are, but I like the Rolling Stones. They were on tour right now, and I saw them a few months ago when they were here. I had a friend who had backstage passes, which sort of sweetened the deal, and we went back there. I'll tell you what, these guys are rock and roll cliches. There were drugs everywhere back there. Zantac, one a day. A lot of Senecott was back there. You thought Mick was prancing around a stage because he was a gifted performer. Turns out it's just a powerful vegetable-based laxative. Gives frightening new meaning to the term brown sugar, you know what I'm saying? You know, people in the first 3 rows are out there yelling, "Give me shelter." It wasn't because of the song. It's because they had crappy seats. So, another problem I have too is there's this little cottage industry that springs up around concerts like that. The Rolling Stones, there was a McDonald's over here that was selling limited edition Rolling Stones sandwiches to kind of cash in, you know? They were calling them the Mick Jagger. And I don't know if any of you had these. I tried one, you know, and I think it's made mostly out of lips. I say that because mine had a cold sore. And it tasted a little like David Bowie, so, you know. It's just a special sauce, you know. But, hey, say what you want about the Mick Jagger, but it sure beats the McBeal. You know, that's just skin and bones on a couple of small buns. So, anyway. But I've had a kind of a tough summer. I don't want to get into it because we've got an evening to wrap up here, but I have had a kind of a difficult summer. In early August, I had to put my dog to sleep, which was tough because he was an insomniac. And took us a little while. But then the week after that, I actually had to go back for my high school reunion, and that was sort of tough. I don't know if you know this, but I'm from Wyoming. It's kind of a long ways away from here, and you know, it wasn't too different. It's just that out there we drink a hell of a lot more than we do out here. You know, we like our women like we like our whiskey, full of alcohol. So drink up. But I went back, and high school was sort of tough for me. I didn't know a lot of girls. I guess that's what it gets down to. I was what you call a mousy guy. You know, every time I even get near a girl, she'd get on a chair and scream, "Kill it, kill it!" You know, so it was kind of a tough high school. And but I wanted to go to prom because prom is always that big social milestone in high school, and I was very excited about it. And I didn't know any girls, so these friends decided to set me up with this girl that they thought I might like. Turns out she had the lead in the school play. It was the Elephant Man, but she did fine, and actually she looked pretty good. She had kind of a dusty rose-colored formal on, which was nice because it matched her pink eye, and she was a little nervous. I think she was a little self-conscious, but we finally went to where the dance was, and she was complaining that her shoes hurt her feet. And I understand this. I mean, hooves don't just slide into pumps. So, but I convinced her to go in with me for one song, and it was a slow song, and I love slow dancing, you know, because you're close. Her arms were around me, and my arms were around her, and teasingly, I'd play with the buttons on the back of her dress until I found out they were moles. So, hey, my name's Doug. Thanks a lot.
Let's hear it for Doug again, folks.
For Doug, he got John Harris.
Jump right there, get it up. The hardest working man in Pittsburgh. How are we doing, Pittsburgh? Very good. Saturday evening, fantastic weather. What a vacation for me. Well, yeah, I was in D.C. They have snow in D.C. right now, which is kind of funny because that place doesn't know how to deal with that kind of thing. Normally they're protected by this big kind of balloon of hot air coming out of the Capitol, which So, but it is good to be here. I've been around Pittsburgh. It's nice. I've learned a few things about you guys. Actually, not you guys. You're yins. I have no idea what that means. It's nice. It's cute. I've learned a few things. Because as a comedian, I get to travel. I learn about all the different people in America, and that's kind of cool. I learned people in Baltimore hate to be called Baltimoreans. Okay. I was on the radio and I didn't realize that, and I called them all Baltimoreans, and I feel sorry for them. But not as sorry as I feel for people who live in Tampa. Like I said, I'm not sure how many of you watch CNN. I'm kind of a news junkie, and like I said, in D.C. we had the snow, and a few of us went onto the grounds of the Capitol, and we made snowmen. We made 535 snowmen for like our own little snow congress, which we thought was kind of funny. I mean, most of them were pretty nice, but I think we didn't quite get the snow Hillary quite right. Not cold enough. I mean, she should be pretty proud of the snowballs. You know, pretty big. So. So anyway, I like traveling. Comedians get to travel a lot, and I love it. The thing that I don't know, how many of you have been to New Orleans? Anybody? You got a few? Is that not a party camp or what? I mean, it's like AA just kind of gave up. Is it, screw it? We're just going to drink, take our clothes off, have great food, and play the banjo. That's New Orleans. And it's fun, it's great. I had never been there, and I had friends tell me that when I go down there, I should try all the local New Orleans flavor, kind of immerse myself in the culture. So they should encourage me to try something called a po' boy sandwich. And I never had one of those, and so as soon as I flew in, I had room service sent up a po' boy sandwich, and they sent up 2 naked homeless guys. And I know I shouldn't complain, but I've had better. They could have warmed it up a little, because the buns were a little crusty. Not sure what that blackened stuff was, but big easy my ass. Let's just leave it at that. Can't let the bad taste in my mouth. Nowhere down apparently. So, but it's fun to be a comedian. I, like most comedians, I've had some other jobs before I ended up in this field. And most comedians don't do very well in other fields. I don't know why that is, and that's to your credit. You don't have to put up with us in the office, which would be awful. How many, just out of curiosity, this was a job I had, I just had to ask, how many people are actually in sales? Anybody? Seriously? What do you sell? Okay, like computer kind of stuff, right? And it doesn't even matter what product it is, if you can sell, you can pretty much make money anywhere. It's really a great talent, and I don't have it. And they told me the thing that they always tell people who don't have sales talent. They said, don't worry, the product will sell itself. I was selling first aid kits to hemophiliacs. It's just a box of scabs, but they really seemed like and I couldn't quite make that work. And I was trying. I mean, every Halloween I had M&M's and I called it Vampire Trail Mix. That didn't work either. So, got out of that. I got into radio. I was in radio for a little while, radio station oriented toward women. It was KPMS. I'm not sure if any of you know. I thought that worked pretty good. 3 weeks every month they play blues. And that's work week, it was ragtime, so. Made the mistake of saying that when the microphone was on and found myself in another line of work. The best job I ever had, I'm not sure how many of you have ever done this, but I was a lifeguard, which I think was the best job, because you're sitting around and you're watching people. It's kind of like working in the post office, but with better lighting. I mean, it's just, and it was the best job I've ever had until this little blue kid got me fired. Off the resume, but anyway, but I'm very proud. Like Charlie mentioned, I have a book out. I'm very happy that it came out last year. Maybe you've seen it. It's a book about calligraphy. I'm calling it the artistry formerly known as print. So, it's very pretty. The book on tape sounds like scribbling, so can't really recommend that. But I'm very excited because the next book I've got coming out is a cookbook. It's a Ramadan cookbook. 300 pages, all blank. Sort of like the Ronald Reagan memoirs. It's I always tell Republicans when they run with that. It's okay, I'll talk slow. No, actually, I'm a Republican, I can say that. But I have another book which it's going to be out in early 2004. I'm very excited about it. I'm calling it the Kama Sutra for Inmates. It's 101 sexual positions you can do with your cellmate. And I'm sure, and I think Republicans will like it because generally conservatives have a sort of a dim view of homosexual behavior in America. Unless it's in prison, then they think it's justice. So apparently it's all in the timing. So it's going to be very cool when I get that out. So I'm a little depressed. How many people are dog people in here? Do you have any dog people? Seriously? Like, well, any dog people? A little sad. 2 weeks ago I had to put my little dog to sleep. Which is hard because he's an insomniac. And took us most of the afternoons. He was a great little dog, but he kept drinking out of the toilet, which was a problem because I'm ticklish. And I didn't say anything at first. I thought I had to do that man's best friend thing. And then he started bringing his friends over. And the neighbors were complaining about the giggling, so it was sort of awkward. But I have another pet, a pet veal calf, which is a great thing to have in an apartment, because they don't need a lot of room to run around. Already taught them a couple of tricks: stay and play dead.
still working on being more succulent. So apparently we have some vegetarians with us tonight. I've had bad experiences. I shouldn't tell you this, but I dated a girl who was a vegetarian for a while, which is troublesome because, you know, she wouldn't suck my dick unless there were tofu on it, and occasionally I would tell her it was soy milk, and that didn't work as well. So I guess the rest of you are cat people, is that fair to say? You got some cat fans in here? Yeah? I'm old-fashioned. I'm the kind of guy that thinks cats are the reason God invented cosmetics testing laboratories. And his dryers with the see-through doors, I mean, that's 4 quarters well spent. Because cats are like a number of expressions you normally don't see. They're a very expressive creature. You've got to throw some bounce in there, otherwise they stick to the glass. They don't, that is animated. So, they're also not very wild about ceiling fans and duct tape, but in case you're preparing for Cinco de Mayo, it's a lot of fun. So, I don't know. Cats are cats I just don't get it because they don't do tricks. They're hairy plant life. They lay around and occasionally move. It's like fungus, right? I don't get it. It's the cat owner, however, that's the mystery to me because these are the only people on the planet who invite an animal into the house to go to the bathroom. Then they spend about $30 or $40 on this big Tupperware catch basin to sort of save it in, and 9 times out of 10 they put it back in the laundry room right by the dryer, the warmest spot in the house, creating sort of a feces potpourri. Not good for the feng shui. Negative energy there. So, I don't know. I guess I should ask, are we drinking? It's a party night, right? Pittsburgh, I love Pittsburgh because you make Ern City Bird. I've been drinking. There's gins, there's Ern City Bird, you worship the Stillers. That's how I like them. Stillers, then you have to go shopping at the Eagle. It's almost like everyone in Pittsburgh has their teeth glued together somehow. They're going to go to the Eagle. They're going to go to Stillers. It's just wild. But anyway, I'd like to propose a toast to those of you who are drinking tonight. Not only to those of you for coming out and breaking the elements to see this fantastic comedy show on Friday. But, thank you, that's secret-wise. But also, thanks to the miracle of modern medicine and fertility drugs. My grandparents respect it. Thank you. So I'm going to be a nephew. We're all so proud. And I know there are experts out there who all say that sex between 80 and 90-year-olds is a healthy and natural and very beautiful thing. They never actually saw what I did. I actually walked in on them. Like, I mean, I was so shocked, I was surprised. I said, "Granddad, why are you slapping Grandma's ass like that?" And he was shocked. He said, "I'm doing it to keep her legs from falling asleep." There were people on 4 on the floor, okay, had 6 on the floor, and all those wrinkles, I thought she was melting. It really was unsatisfactory. It's like erosion gone horribly wrong. They're doing it walker style, which means they're kind of going slow. You knew where they're headed, you could probably beat them there if you tried. It's wild. I've always wondered if old people are into oral sex. I guess, if you're into hard shell tacos, maybe. I have no idea why I think that's funny, but I do. But that's what's funny. They think they're kind of crafty. Older people think they're smarter than they really are. I don't know if you know this about them, but they were trying to keep it a secret from the rest of the family because they weren't sure how it would be received. And that put me in a very awkward position because they trusted me. I was in their confidence. And so my granddad would confide things in me. I didn't want him to confide in me at all. He would brag, but he could still make my grandmother's back arch. So can I. Just hide the calcium supplements. Works like wet plywood. It's just, So, and I'm surprised because he's not the kind of guy to go out there and actually buy the medical assistance that many guys in that age group need. As it turns out, he went to Kinko's and had his dick laminated. I've been there. They do that. There's a line. It's a wild place, Kinko's. Hence the name, Kinko's. No, but they're very excited. And I'm excited. But they were trying to keep things from the family, but they weren't very good at it. They kept leaving little clues around in the garbage. We'd find discarded home pregnancy tests with the extra big print. So, and as soon as Grandma started lactating, well, you know, she was wetting the bed at both ends. So, no wonder the cats wanted to sleep with her. So, the dog trainers, where are you? Who is these dogs trying to do that? I am a little nervous. I shouldn't tell you this, but I guess as a pseudo-celebrity, I have to be in a position of responsibility. Men, I encourage you all to go to the doctor. Last week I had to go and have a suspicious-looking mole removed from my ass. And if you know anything at all about rodents, you know they can get pretty big. And they're nocturnal, and they like to dig, so just poke him out. It was all production. But I was still a little self-conscious, as most guys do. You know, whenever a doctor's back in that area, you know, especially when we feel their hands on their shoulders, it's just, you know, a little iffy. But I suffer from a medical condition known as a really hairy ass, and it's a little embarrassing, but I have to shave it, kind of keep it manageable, because mousse doesn't work like you think it will. I shaved it, and a couple years ago I just shaved it into a mohawk, which was great, you know, because it looked like I was shaving a gladiator. It's very, very nice. Last year I had shaved into a garden maze, which was beautiful, but it took me forever to wipe my ass because I kept getting lost. And the breadcrumb trail only goes so far. Birds become a nuisance. So, but I'm thinking about growing it out because, you know, I've always wanted a ponytail. My only worry is that the girls probably won't like it. I think they're going to think my dick has a mullet, and that's the last thing I want to do. Waist down, look like a guy from Scott Township with a very big nose. Post-nasal drip. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know why I added that, but it's funny. So, no, it's a little embarrassing. But I know there are a lot of guys out there who don't suffer from that same problem. They have another problem. They have what I call bald ass syndrome. I don't know how many of you bald assers are here. Don't worry. I know the winter months are cold. I'm working on something for you. I've got a toupee for bald asses I'm working on. I'm calling it, I can't believe it's not bud hair. So, just in case, you can go to my website at nationalsexpetregistry.com/Olsen Twins and learn more. So, we have some Olsen twins. Am I the only one that finds the Olsen twins increasingly attractive and I'm troubled by that? Do you guys remember this? These little kids who were born on TV, they were in Full House, and I swear to God, I think they were like shaved chimpanzees for a little while. And now they're suddenly becoming socially, like, moderately acceptable, and People magazine says they're worth $76 million. I did the math, that's 19 million a breast. So, if any of you are planning families, think of it as an investment. So, I don't know about those. I watch the news entirely too much. I love the news. The thing I hate about this, by the way, how many people think we should be over in Iraq bombing the hell out of this right now? The problem is we should learn our lesson. We really haven't, because we're going to go over there with all these planes, with bombs, and all this kind of stuff. It didn't work in Afghanistan. That's kind of a tough place to bomb anyway. When you're bombing them up into the Stone Age, that really is, you know, urban renewal on a certain level. But we missed the guy we were trying to hit. I'm convinced probably different tactics could be employed. So I'm suggesting that if any of you have any pull, or any relatives in the military that are going over there, I suggest they get the bombs out of the planes, and instead, let's airdrop a whole bunch of pictures of Janet Reno over there. And for every day that the tensions continue, we drop more pictures, only with one item of clothing less each day. We'll have this thing ordered by lunch, I guarantee. I'm a peacemaker. So, I like TV. I wish they'd bomb Anna Nicole Smith's show. You guys watch that? Nobody claims to watch it, yet it's still on the air. I don't get that. What amazes me is that she has a show, but what amazes me more is that she's a 9th grade dropout. Did you know this? From Texas. And that bothers me, that a woman like her can make it to 9th grade. I mean, that's the quality control of the Texas education. I'm worried because that's a national security thing. What if, let's just say, an undereducated Texan manages to get into a position of real influence? It's kind of a little worried. So, but I do watch TV. I like movies a lot. I don't know how many of you guys are dating. Do we have any daters here now? People that are on a date right now? All of you. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Too cool for the room. Yeah, I get it. The reason I ask, and I know you're out there, is that when you're in a relationship, many times the girl makes you go to cultural kind of things. You don't want to go, but you have to go because you're the boyfriend or the husband or whatever. I got dragged along to a movie called The Hours. Have you guys seen this? Sucks. I gotta tell you. The title describes how long it seems to go on. It just drags on. But I went because I'm a good guy and she wanted to go. But she drags me in all these cultural things I'm not really sure about. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Something called the vagina monologues. I thought it had to do with ventriloquism. Totally not. I mean, at one point there's a duet, but and one of them's a baritone. I won't tell you which. But it's the one that looks like Luciano Pavarotti. I'll leave it at that. Got a few opera buffs over here. It's nice. So, no, but I'm a guy. I like the action flicks. I'm the Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of guy, right? Got some Schwarzenegger fans in here? Again, too cool for the room. This is Pittsburgh. But the Schwarzenegger, because he's got Terminator 3 coming out this summer, and no one seems to be talking about it. I'm very excited about it, because his movies are the best. They offer me what I need. Explosions, violence, occasional frontal nudity, and really witty little bum low. This guy is truly one of our time's great wits. Because he leaves you with little things in every movie, scattered through them like Easter eggs, something to hunt for, a little one-liner that you'll remember. The best one is from a little movie called The Terminator. Remember what it was? Terminator, the first one. That's T2. Do that, right? But then also the Vista, but we learned he can speak Spanish. Very cool. Truly an actor's actor. That's very nice. But my favorite, though, comes from a little film he did a few years ago called Total Recall, where he's on the surface of Mars, and he's had a big adventure, and he's fought a bunch of bad guys. And after a big adventure, he turns to this woman, a very attractive woman, and he looks deep into her eyes, and he says, and you know, he's right. Really makes you think. So, yeah. Can't wait for that. I'm very excited. My girlfriend makes me do a lot of these kind of things. She hates when the Olympics come on, because I'm totally into the Olympics. So you guys sports people, well, this is Pittsburgh, of course you are. Yeah. Here's a quick question. Do you prefer the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics? Summer Olympics? I heard summer? Thank you. I agree with you. The Winter Olympics is the fake one. The ancient Greeks did not have snow, I gotta tell you. There were no toboggans in the Acropolis, you know, there was none of that kind of stuff. Naked wrestling in the snow does not work, I gotta tell you. But the one thing that bothers me about the Winter Olympics, they put events in it that are not actually sports. Men's figure skating? Who are you kidding? That's not a sport. With all the funky lighting and fancy music and tight pants, that's a gay bar on ice is what that is. I'm not sure how you know, but I don't know. But I'm, you know, again, old-fashioned. I'm the kind of guy who likes the Summer Olympics for the simple reason that the female athletes are wearing less. Call me crazy, but I'm attracted to Mia Hamm and the soccer team. I think they're very attractive. The women's beach volleyball team, very attractive girls. I think Marion Jones, the track star, an amazing body, seems very nice. She's really, really cute until she smiles. Then she's got teeth coming at you every direction. It's like Predator. Again, back to the Schwarzenegger. I just wish she'd take a silver medal, melt it down, and get braces made. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, your relatives, apparently. Yeah. No, but I think Anna Kournikova should get a gold medal just for being Anna Kournikova. It's just me. She's 22. I've been celebrating her birthday every day since she turned 18. I'm not going to tell you how exactly, but I'm getting tennis elbow. Let's just leave it at that. I like the Olympics. I'll tell you the one that really bothers me though, I think the Special Olympics deserves more network coverage than it gets. You never see it on TV, and I understand. I mean, there's some elements that are sort of embarrassing about it. And you have all these kids, and believe me, they're earnest. They really want to compete. They really enjoy the experience. But they're all going, USA! USA! And I gotta tell you, they're all from the USA. They aren't bringing them in from other countries. They're all from like Alabama and West Virginia. And I say that only because of the haircuts. We have any West Virginians here? Woo! Oh my God, you're not. I love West Virginians because they had such a hard time finding themselves in Virginia, and it's so hard to spell Western Virginia that they just, screw it, we're just going to invent our whole state so you know where we're at. Are you serious in West Virginia?
Yes, I am.
Okay, where's your mobile homes? Parked out in front of you? I know you guys can't afford mobile homes. I don't know why I picked it up. I love those guys. I like it because they have such a great sense of humor. You're peacemakers, I love that. No, but it's very, I just wish the Special Olympics had better events, because they always have these ridiculously boring, like the 50-yard dash. The only possibility of fun is when they blow the starting gun and they all scatter in every direction. Maybe one or two will make it to the green, it's like this frenzy out there. But the one I think they should have is like demolition derby. I know retards can drive, I've been on 279. So, I'd like to see blind people on the balancing beam. I mean, because, keeping the dog on the beam is like half the battle, Put little milk bones out there and hope, And they got that stick to kind of help them. I'd like to see athletics on the parallel bars, because at some point that's just a race against the clock. Pity the guy has to untangle him. But I like the special ones. Some people think I'm a little insensitive to people with disabilities, and nothing could be further from the truth. For a little while I was dating a girl who was blind, obviously. And it was great. I mean, she was always very nice to be around, but I gotta tell you, every time we had sex, it was seeing eye doggy style, and that means she wore a sign on her back that said, "Don't pet me, I'm working." I got a little old. I gotta tell you, she wanted to break up with me, if you can believe that. And that's actually not bad, because if they're blind, all you have to do is just fake it, like celebrity impersonation. All of a sudden they have a new boyfriend. You'll never believe it, go yell at Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just me over there. I'll be back. I'll see what he's doing. Maybe new cologne, that's about it. It's a real foolproof disguise. So I dated an Amish girl for a little while too, which was trouble. Because everything with them is just so black and white. And she left me for a butter churn, if you can believe that. Hope she gets a splinter. But see, women generally have these opinions, which I think are largely unfounded. They seem to think that all men want are brainless model types. And that's not true. I'm not sure how many of you actually ever dated a good-looking retarded girl. Also, I'm the only one. All right, okay, fine. I mean, they're easy to pick up. Boy, are they hard to break up with. Because I don't think they get the concept. I don't love you anymore. Let's go get ice cream! I mean, it's just totally lost on it. So technically, we're still dating. And, it makes sense. Periodically, I'm fucking retarded. Well, my girlfriend hates when I tell jokes. She thinks I'm a little insensitive. She's a very nice girl, and she's very pretty, and I like her a whole bunch. And we're at a special point in our relationship where we have cute little nicknames for each other. I'm not sure how many of you have little pet names and stuff, but she calls me Popeye because of my build. And I call her Sweet Pea because she's 11. No, that's not true. I call her Sweet Pea because she has a bladder infection. I wanted to impress her. Our very first day out, I wanted to take her to a nice romantic candlelit dinner, and I did. And it was very romantic. At one point, she leans in and whispers in my ear. She goes, "Doug, you're 1 in a million." I thought, that's pretty cool. Until I realized, wait a minute, maybe that's why she's been so tired lately. But we got through that. We actually ended up having sex missionary style that night, which means I dressed like a Catholic priest and she like a young Indian boy. You guys some Native Americans here tonight? Okay, good. I can tell you I gave her a pearl rosary. That's what you're gonna give her too. She when I say stupid things and embarrass her, she punishes me like I think many of you ladies punish your guys. She makes me go to the store and pick up those items that we have absolutely no idea what they are. By nature, we're mechanical engineers. We like to know how things work, right? I don't get these things. New Freedom mini pads, for example. I thought it had something to do with leaving messages by the phone. It's not. And there's no glue on the box. They're pink and there's these little wavy lines and it's like some sort of weird secret one language, cuneiform. I don't know what it is. And there's an explosion on the box that says, "Now with a peach protection strip." I'm taking all the products in the world to flavor. And all the fruit flavors, why not cherry? Seems a little more appropriate. Peach, cherry, they're both the pits. I love it. Here's another one. I saw an infomercial for this week, but it's something called Hernads. At one point, some of you ladies know what I'm talking about. It's some sort of a hair removal goo that some British woman invented in her kitchen to help her daughter who had an excessive body hair problem. And that was the daughter's nickname. Next. What better way to help your daughter struggling with a self-esteem problem than to nickname her after male genitalia? I will never get that. They drive on the left, I don't get it. They're worlds apart. Yeah, so there's that. The FDS, feminine deodorant spray, another one, a mystery to me. As near as I can tell, it's a cross between right guard and Banaka. And I couldn't find it. I looked all over the place. I looked and looked, and I couldn't find it. So I grabbed a bottle of Febreze. Apparently that's not the right stuff. It could have been worse. I guess I had coupons to love my carpet, so.
Judy on you. Shut up. Okay. Coming to the stage now, very funny man. You might have seen him on HBO Sketchpad. You might have seen him on CMT. He also has his own website, DougFun.com. Will you please welcome Doug Heacock?
Terry London right there, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. Artist Queen Man in Leesburg. Are we drinking? Leesburg, are we drinking? I'm drinking. I came all this way to drink with you guys. Don't make it worth his while. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm very good. I was in Pittsburgh last week performing in Pittsburgh. Are you from Pittsburgh? Are you really? I learned a few things up there, and this is why I like being a comedian, because you get to travel and you get to learn about America. And in Pittsburgh, I learned that if I were to refer to all of you, I wouldn't say you all, I'd say yingus, right? They got this weird fucked up thing up there. Who knows? But this is what I learned, and I learned the hard way. I was on the radio in Baltimore last week. I learned that they don't like to be called Baltimoreans. Who knew? Who knew? And I feel sorry for those guys because I'm going to probably continue to make that mistake and call them Baltimoreans. But I really feel sorry for people who live in Tampa. If you're sitting next to somebody from West Virginia, you might have to explain that. They're big on brawny. So, I'm in a very good mood. My comedy career seems to be taking off. I don't know how many of you saw me, but about 3 weeks ago I was on Oprah.
Yeah!
And yeah, I don't want to brag. Things went pretty well. So well, she thinks now she can get me on her TV show. So. We're all so proud. It's like fucking a couch. I just get I say that because there's a lot of loose change and on somebody's remote. But I like to travel. I'm very excited about this. It's very good to be back here in D.C. And of course, like Carrie mentioned, we had snow a couple of weeks ago. D.C. freaks out whenever we have winter. I love that about this place. We just can't handle it. D.C. hasn't seen that many white flakes since Strom Thurmond's birthday party. I mean, this was a lot of snow. And so a few of us went over onto the grounds of the Capitol. We actually made 535 snowmen. We wanted to make our own little snow congress, which we thought would be kind of fun. And I'm not sure about the snow Hillary. I mean, we got the shape right, but I don't think we made her cold enough. So apparently this is Democrat country up here. The Northern Neck. Well, she should be proud of those snowballs. So anyway, so I like to do that kind of stuff. Comedians have generally had a whole bunch of weird jobs before they became comedians. I don't know, how many of you people are in sales? Is anybody here in sales? Are you seriously? Oh, you're in sales? I'm not gonna. Are you good at it? That's the better question. Seriously? Are you good at it? Okay. The reason I ask is that I was not very good at sales either, and they always tell you the same thing. Don't worry, the product will sell itself, right? And I gotta tell you, I had every advantage. I was selling first aid kits to hemophiliacs. And I couldn't pull it off. I mean, it was just a box of scabs, but they really seemed to go for it, you know? And I was, Halloween, I'd had M&Ms and I'd call it vampire trail mix. That didn't work. I mean, it's blood money, I was conflicted, so. But I got out of that. My best job, I don't know how many of you have ever done this, I was a lifeguard. And that is the best job because you get to sit around and kind of watch people, and it's kind of like working at the post office but with better lighting. And I loved it. It was a great job until this little blue kid got me fired. So take that off the resume. So anyway, for a little while I worked in radio. I was working for a radio station oriented toward women. It was KPMS. I'm not sure how many of you tuned in. But the format seemed to work pretty well. 3 weeks of every month they'd play blues. And that fourth week it was ragtime. So they let me go shortly after I said that. Probably should have done it. But Carrie did not mention this. I'm very excited. This past December I came out with my very first book. I don't know how many of you have ever written a book, but that takes a long time, and it was very creative, and I enjoyed it, but I'm happy with the final product. It's a book about calligraphy. I'm calling it The Artistry Formerly Known as Print. So, the book on tape sounds like scribbling, so you don't waste your mind on that. But I'm working on a cookbook. It's a Ramadan cookbook. It's 300 pages, all blank. It really wrote itself. Sort of like the Ronald Reagan memoirs. I can always tell who the Republicans are when I say that. I guess I can talk a little slower. See, the thing I like about Republicans is that generally, they're going to like this next book that I write, because I've got one that's coming out next year. It's the Kama Sutra for inmates. It's 101 sexual positions you can do with your cellmate. And generally, conservatives take a dim view of homosexual behavior. Unless it's in prison, then they think it's justice. So it's really all about the timing, I think. So, just out of curiosity, how many people here are dog people? Do we have any dog people here? Seriously? Do you have a dog? What kind? A Rottweiler? That's the best kind, I think. They're big and they're lovable and they'll kill the hell out of whoever, right? They'll eat them. I've actually seen them eat other dogs. It's nice. I like dogs a lot. I am a little sad though. I had a Weimaraner, and it was a cute little dog, but I had to put him to sleep 3 weeks ago, which was hard because he's an insomniac. And it took us a little while. He was a great little dog, but he kept drinking out of the toilet, which was a problem, because I'm ticklish. And, I mean, I didn't say anything at first, I thought it had to do with that man's best friend thing, and pretty soon he started bringing friends over, and my neighbors were complaining about the giggling, so we put him down. But I have another pet. I have a pet field calf, which is a great pet to have in an apartment, because they don't need a lot of room to run around. Already taught him a couple of tricks: stay and play dead. Still working on be more succulent. So, apparently we've got vegetarians with us. Very nice. I always have bad vibes with vegetarians. I dated a vegetarian for a little while. It's the worst relationship I've ever had, because she wouldn't suck my dick unless I wrote tofu on it. And sometimes I have to tell her it was soy milk. It was really not a happy time. There are my meat eaters. There they are. So the rest of you, cat fans, is that fair to say? We got cat people in here? Yeah. Are you really? Cats I don't get, because cats, and for the dog people, you got my back, right? Cats don't do anything. They eat and they shit, and that's about it. They don't come when you call, they don't do a trick, they don't grab the paper, they don't even chew up your shoes. They do nothing. They are hairy plant life, as I see it. And it's kind of like a wandering vine, sort of a fungus, if you will. To me, God, cats are the reason God invented cosmetics testing laboratories. And I gotta tell you, I agree. I don't think we should be testing makeup on cats when there's so many homeless people who need money. Right? Have you ever seen a homeless guy without lip gloss? I mean, that is like 100 miles of bad road. And they taste a little like urine. So it's really not the best. Kidding. Cats I don't get. It's the cat owner, however, that's the biggest mystery in the world to me, because these are the only humans on the planet who actually invite an animal into the house to go to the bathroom, and they spend 30 or 40 bucks on like a Tupperware bucket or something to kind of save it in, and 9 times out of 10 they put it back in the laundry room, right by the dryer, the warmest spot in the house, creating sort of a feces potpourri. Not good for the feng shui. We'll just leave it at that. So, anyway, I travel. I have to go to New Orleans in 2 weeks, and I was there a year ago. Have you guys been to New Orleans? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
This place is a party town. It's like AA just said, screw it, forget it, we're going to drink, take our clothes off, and play the banjo. That is New Orleans, and I'd never been down there, and I had friends tell me when I go down, I should have them send up, like a po' boy sandwich. I should try a po' boy sandwich because it says a lot about the local culture. So I flew in, I had room service set up a po' boy sandwich, and they sent up 2 naked homeless guys. shouldn't complain, but I've had better. And apparently it's a stuffed sandwich, and I'm not sure what that blackened stuff was. But, and they could have warmed it up a little because the buns were a little crusty. So the big easy my ass. I got one fan right over there. So, but I like to travel. I like traveling a lot. You know, that's funny because in New Orleans you tend to drink more than you should, like we're going to do tonight, I suppose. But we drank like insane. And of course, if you're out with the fellas, and you guys can back me up on this, but when you're out with the guys and you're drinking a lot, you tend to do stupid things that you normally would not. And we were drinking so much, we were actually daring each other to try certain stupid things. They dared me to dip my balls in my drink, and it was hard because we were drinking out of champagne flutes, and man, I couldn't get them out for a while. I woke up the next morning, I thought I was giving birth to a chandelier. It was an ugly time. I've only done that one other time, and it was with wine. And I gotta tell you, I didn't know you could get kicked out of communion. That was an eye-opener for this cowboy. So anyway, gentlemen, this is really a message for you. As sort of a pseudo-celebrity, I have to pass along health tips. I'm encouraging all of you to go to the doctor on a regular basis. I went a week ago because I had to have a suspicious-looking mole removed from my ass. And if you know anything at all about rodents, you know those can get pretty big. And they're nocturnal, and they really like to dig. So we had to smoke them out. It was a real production. And if you're like me, gentlemen, if you're like me, you always feel a little self-conscious when guys are back in that neighborhood, you know, especially when you feel their hands on your shoulders. And I'm a little sensitive because I suffer from a serious medical condition known as a really hairy ass. And I mean, I have to shave it to kind of keep it manageable because mousse does not work like you hope it will. Just kind of slide around back there. So I shaved it, and a year ago I had it shaved into a mohawk, which was beautiful. Looked like I was shitting a gladiator. So this past summer I had it shaped into a garden maze, which was beautiful, but it took me forever to wipe my ass because I kept getting lost. And breadcrumb trail just invites a lot of questions. And birds, as it turns out. So right now I'm trying to grow it out, because I've always wanted a ponytail. I'm a little worried though, because I'm afraid the girls are going to think my dick has a mullet, and that really is sort of a drawback. From the waist down, I'm going to look like a guy from Baltimore, and that really... not really into that kind of a thing. So, I have no idea what I'm going on about myself. Let's talk about you for a while. How many people in here, by the way, are ready to propose a toast? Because if you're in a toasting mood, I'd like to propose a toast. We've all walked away. We're just physically here, right? Dog man, you're my dog man, right here. Okay, I'm proposing a toast. Thanks to the miracle of modern medicine and fertility drugs, my grandparents are expecting. Thank you. So I'm going to be a nephew. We're all so very proud. I mean, there's always health experts out there that say that, you know, 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds having sex is a wonderful and natural thing. I got to tell you, they've never seen what I did. I actually walked in on him accidentally. Wow. Scared the hell out of me. All I could say was, Granddad, why are you slapping Grandma's ass like that? And he could say, Doug, I'm doing it to keep her legs from falling asleep. And close the door before the orderly comes back. And it wasn't the finest hour. I mean, you've heard of people have 4 on the floor. Granny had 6 on the floor, and with all those wrinkles, I thought she was melting. It was really they were doing it walker style, which means they were kind of going slow. You knew where they were headed. You could probably go there faster, but you don't really want to. So. But they're very, very optimistic people. And that's surprising because my grandfather's not the kind of guy to pay for, he's not a pill popper. And I know when you get older in that age group, you need some assistance in some ways, and that's fine. But he's not the kind of guy to do it. As it turns out, he'd simply gone to Kinko's and had his dick laminated. So there's obviously going to be a line for that, so book some extra time. But it was a little sad, but you know, they wanted me to kind of keep their secret because apparently they were trying and so forth. And I was in their confidence, and that put me in a very difficult ethical position because they kept sharing information with me I didn't want. My granddad, for example, would brag that he could still make my grandmother's back arch. Well, so can I. I mean, just higher calcium tablets. It works like wet plywood. But they're very, very excited. I mean, I'm pulling for them. They're obviously, you know, optimistic. this. They're the kind of people who like to think their Depends are half empty, not half full. So, we're all very excited. So, anyway, I don't know if you guys watch TV like I do. Who watches C-SPAN? I just got cable, so now I'm trying to catch up. You guys watch C-SPAN at all? That is the best possible channel, I think. Because during the day, it's a little dull, I'll give you that. It's just Congress doing their thing. But at night, C-SPAN After Dark. Oh man, is that great. Because then you see all the stuff you didn't see during the day. All the protesters in front of the Capitol and stuff. It was amazing. And there was this group recently that was protesting Dr. Seuss books because they thought Dr. Seuss books had bad things in them, indecent material that little kids shouldn't see. One book they thought was about incest, Pop on Pop. Another book they thought was about sodomy, Inside, Outside, Upside Down. I don't even want to go into Mr. Brown Can Moo, Can You. So, I'd use the Library of Congress for that joke, thank you. Sadly, all those books were checked out through a guy named Packwood, so if you run into him. So, I like the news. The thing I do not like, however, is that Anna Nicole still has a show. Or do you have any Anna Nicole fans in here?
Yeah.
See, that's what I figured. No one's watching the show, so how it's on for a second season now is beyond me. She is the most annoying person I've ever seen ever in my life. And I look for this kind of stuff, so I know what I'm saying. She's super, gigantic, annoying. It's metric, it's so annoying. What bothers me is that she is a 9th grade dropout from Texas. Now, I went to grad school, and I don't have a TV show. She's a 9th grade dropout, and this troubles me. Because it bothers me that somebody like her can make it to the 9th grade. I mean, that's what quality control is for, right? She's an idiot. They should have held her back a couple of thousand years. But the problem I have is that we're so busy focused on this war in Iraq. By the way, who thinks we should be over there bombing the hell out of the place right now? 5 people. The rest of you are protesters, apparently? They had a thing downtown today. It was very, very pleasant. There's this war in Iraq, and they want to go over and bomb the hell out of that place. And I got to tell you, we should have learned our lesson with Afghanistan a year ago. When you're bombing the place up into the Stone Age, that's really urban renewal, when you think about it. That's not really a war in the classic sense. And they were chasing Osama bin Laden. The CIA was actually tracking him with his cell phone. Now this is a man living in a cave. I get a 95, it's dead to me. I don't get this. I want that man's service. You can bet it wasn't AT&T. It's like Al Jazeera has a cell phone network now. It's nice. But my point is, we're over there bombing the hell out of this place, and I'm thinking that if we go into Iraq and we bomb that stuff, that's the wrong approach, because it won't work. What we need to do instead is fly over a bunch of C-130s or some sort of gigantic aircraft and drop out photos of Janet Reno. And for every day that this continues, we drop out more pictures, but with less clothing. I'm a peacemaker. Yes. And she is at peace. So, I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. I'm into the news. We're cloning people now. We're cloning Canadians, which we have enough already, don't we? When I first heard of this group Clonate, I kept thinking that was like a knockoff Gatorade. It was like a thirst quencher, but like low end, like you get it over here at Shoppers Warehouse or something. Tastes exactly the same would be the slogan. So anyway, but I see all these commercials and stuff, and I'm big on movies, and I'm not sure if you guys are movie people, but TV has let me down. I'm anxious to go into the movie theaters, and this is going to be a great summer for that because, quite frankly, movies have been so bad for so long. We need something new, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many of you guys are in relationships and got dragged along to a little flick called The Hours. Have you seen this? It's a horror show. It sucks. Don't go. They call it that because that's how long it seems to go on. It just drags on and on. You're a lesbian. We get it. Roll credits. I had to see something called Chocolat. We rented Chocolat. Have you seen this? It sucks. Gouge your eyes out with your thumbs if you can. I was hoping I'd get diabetes so I could leave, that kind of a thing. But it was awful. Because I'm a guy. I like, less than cultural things, and she instead likes the cultural stuff. She dragged me along to something called the Vagina Monologues. I don't know if any of you have seen this. It was the worst. I went thinking it had something to do with ventriloquism. Totally not. You could totally see her lips move. It was... I mean, there was a duet at one point. One of them's a baritone. I don't want to tell you which one, but there's a resemblance to Luciano Pavarotti. Leave it at that. So, but it was really not my cup of tea. I'm an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. I mean, this is my kind of action hero, right? He's big, he kicks ass. There's occasionally frontal nudity, not of him obviously, but there's, you know, the rollovers, the explosions, the kung fu, the foul language. This is my kind of a show. It's got everything. And we're looking forward this summer to Terminator 3. This is going to be a very big movie. I liked all the ones he's done before, but T3 would be cool because he's always got, in addition to the usual staple of violence and action, little witty things in every movie. He's got little one-liners that really bring it all into focus, right? For example, like Terminator, what was the big line in Terminator? I'll do that, right? And then in Terminator 2, hasta la vista, right? We learned he spoke Spanish, truly the actor's actor. I don't know what I'll do in T3, but I gotta hit my favorite, because he always has the same few lines in all the movies. There's little Easter eggs scattered, you just have to listen for them, because he's always telling you the same basic things. He's looking out for you. He wants you to get down, because there's bullets, and who knows what's going on. He says, get down! In every movie. Get down! Maybe you didn't hear him. Then he always says, listen to me! In every movie, listen to me! So it's very nice. But my favorite is in a movie called Total Recall, about 10, maybe 11 years ago. Big, cool movie. He was on the surface of Mars. He's fighting a bunch of bad guys. He's had a big adventure. And at one point, he turns to this very attractive woman with whom he shared the adventure. And he looks deep into her eyes. And he goes, and you know, he's right. Really makes you think. He's a consummate actor. But I like action flicks. I'm looking for, who saw the X-Men a couple of years ago? Did you guys see this? Yeah? It let me down. I was a little disappointed in that because I figured Janet Reno would be in it. Clearly she's an X-Man. Which is why I'm looking forward to the sequel, because I figure Rosie O'Donnell will be in it, because clearly she's an X-Man 2. My little sequel reference there. So, I like the flicks. Girls are trouble though, because they always like to go see their kind of stuff. They make you do their things. And I've had bad relationships, and so I've always focused more on TV. TV is the one relationship you can never screw up. TV will never let you down. You can never piss it off. You can walk around naked and not care. The TV is very forgiving. I love the TV. And I like the Olympics. I'm not sure if you guys are Olympics people, but it only comes every 4 years, and that's a little unsettling to me. But we have the Summer Olympics, and we have the Winter Olympics, which to me is the fake one. Because quite frankly, it's filled with events that are not sports. Men's figure skating? Not a sport. You know, with all the fancy music and the tight pants and funky lighting, that's a gay bar on ice, come on. I don't know how you medal, but I have a suspicion. So, but I like the Olympics. But the Winter Olympics is always the one that has the need for the most viewers. They can never seem to get more viewers. Remember, what, 4 years ago they tried introducing that really exciting new event? We have a rock and we're gonna push it. That was the big thing 4 years ago. So I'm trying to think we should figure out new ways. We're Americans, right? We're the innovative types in the world. I suggest we start helping them out, like giving them a few more American events. Demolition Derby, I think would be excellent, right? Because I think, you know, quite frankly, America would win. We've got the biggest cars. A 1969 Chrysler Newport always beats a Daewoo. I don't care.